If you are an actor, do not do your own stunts. If you are a stuntman, do not do dialogue unless you took classes or are actually trained in acting. Like, it's two different skill sets.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to today's episode of Talent Agent Talk, where we are bringing you real-life stories and educational lessons behind the scenes of film and TV. I am your host and a talent agent, Jason Lockhart, and today I've got a badass guest, Ronny Mathew.
What's going on, man? Thank you so much for having me today.
Dude, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
So Ronny is, I call him a badass because he's a stunt guy and a driver and an actor. What project should we talk about?
So I kind of wanted to talk about the TV show I worked on earlier this year called Deli Boys, which is going to be on Hulu later this year. Please check it out if you enjoy comedy and action. Yeah, it was a great little show that I got to be one of the main stunt doubles on up in Chicago, surprisingly.
Super cool.
Yeah.
How did you get the job? Like what?
Man.
Take me back to that moment.
So I'm going to use a word that you taught me. This was a complete Basheret moment. Like, it just kind of fell in my lap in a certain way. And I kind of feel like that's been my entire career, where it's like, I don't book work just because of talent. I'm there because I need to learn something, or I need to teach someone something, or, there's a life lesson to be had. And so really roundabout connection. One of my best friends, ex-girlfriends, decided to move to Chicago at some point. This TV show, Deli Boys, came up there, and the stunt coordinator started asking all around town, who can we find to double these Indian men? And so the stunt coordinator, his name is Chris Nolte is his name. He asked my friend Leah, do you know anyone that can fill this role? And Leah's like, of course, Ronny Mathew. He's down in Atlanta, though. If it's not a problem and you can fly him up, he'd be a great option for you. And so I got the interview, and we came to find out that Chris is great friends with so many people that I've worked with before. And he said, man, you sound like a great guy just based on everyone that I'm interviewing. I'd love to have you up here. Let's see if this works. And so came up.
Did you have to send a stunt reel or anything?
I did have to send my resume, but in the stunt world, we are more of a word of mouth community, and we are very integrity based in terms of how we give our recommendations. So no one's going to give a recommendation to someone that's going to make them look bad, because, every little strike against you counts, because it's such a cutthroat industry. So if one of the people that recommended me find out that I did a bad job, suddenly their credibility is compromised. And that's something that we cannot have happen. Like, our word is all that we have, aside from, footage of skills and all that kind of stuff. But that's already a really hard thing to capture. So brought me up. I matched the actor perfectly. His name is Sagar Shaikh. He's in the Marvel Universe. Super nice guy. And we got along great. And, it was a very Basheret moment of like, I belong in Chicago for this month. So that's how I got it.
Cool. And then what was it like being on set? Like, what did you, who'd you work with and how'd it go?
So it was actually, since it's a TV show and they don't have a huge budget, it's a pilot, first season, they were looking to get approved for multiple seasons. In the beginning, it was a little sparse in terms of stunt work and action and all that kind of thing. It was really simple movements, really simple fights. But the thing that kind of stuck out was a conversation that I actually had with Sagar. There came a point where we were taking the bus together, and we were going to set, and we were going to do a fight sequence that afternoon. And I said, hey, man, have you seen the fight yet? Did you see what we choreographed? In case they want to do some inserts of you throwing some moves in, I think it would be good for you to know what your actions are. And he's like, man, they didn't show me anything yet. I really wish that they would. And I would love to, be able to do more of my action more and more. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. And I get it. And I'm with you. That's why I'm here for you. I'm your double. I'm here to help you out also. But also, please tell me you're not trying to say you want to do your own stunts. And he's like, no, I would love to do my own stunts. And for anyone that knows me, it's very hard for me to say, because this is going to sound so hypocritical. If you're an actor, do not do your own stunts. If you are a stuntman, do not do dialogue unless you took classes or are actually trained in acting. Like, it's two different skill sets. I am in the very rare category that, I've spent years training my acting and I've spent years practicing my stunt skills. And that's because I was single for a very long time. Like,
So you had time to educate.
I had so much time on my hands.
Around.
I had no vices whatsoever through most of my 20s. Like, I played video games, I worked on cars, and then I took my classes for acting and I took my classes for stunts. Like, I went to the gym, I trained. I would read my Shakespeare, I would do my my if-then exercises. I would go to my improv classes. I would do my improv shows. Like, I was putting work in to do both. And like, to become proficient at both, 5-6 years, probably 10 years before I started making a living. But like, for people to take me seriously, 5-6 years in both categories.
Hey, thanks so much for watching Talent Agent Talk. Quick moment of your time, because if you are enjoying this show, I'm guessing it's because you are also an actor and want to be booking, just like we're talking to our guests about. So we have our Improve Your Audition Bootcamp coming up to help you do exactly that. Put together auditions good enough to actually book the job. This is a 2-week bootcamp where we bring in casting directors. Some of you will have the chance to have your work critiqued, self-tape, and live Zoom. This is a way for you to not only learn from your peers, but also get self-tape hacks and strategies to make your tape more engaging. This is a 2-week bootcamp that's only $37, but there might be a promo in the description to save you a little bit of money there. 6 workshops, 2 weeks, $37 or less if you go to the description. But again, this is our Improve Your Audition Bootcamp. Don't miss your chance to grab your spot so you can maybe be on this show with Jason Lockhart before you know it.
That's like going to college.
Right, exactly. And so, we started this conversation of like, hey man, please, whatever you do, don't aspire to do your own stunts as an actor. If you want to be a stunt person, different story. But trying to make this aspiration of being an actor that does his own stunts is not helpful. And of course, he's curious. He wasn't rude about it at all. He was just like, well, what makes you say that? And so the lesson is, and I'll give like the full overview. If you are an actor and you tell production that you can do your own stunts and production agrees, you just took someone else out of work. Now that stunt double, that potential stunt person that would be doing the action for you, now doesn't have a paycheck. And I'm very much about equalizing distribution of wealth. Like, if there's an opportunity for someone else to make money and it's fair game for them to make money and they're not just ripping out of my pocketbook, I am so happy to watch other people win and let them provide for their families, however that may look. Second thing is, if you decide to do your own action and for whatever reason something goes wrong, and things go wrong, and you end up with a black eye, you can't do close-ups for quite some time. Like, makeup can do a lot, but with the way cameras work now, I mean, I could probably look at this camera and when this uploads, I'll find the pimple that's behind my sideburn. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's such a delicate thing where if you ruin your face, which is the moneymaker for an actor, you just messed up the shoot. And for what? A little bit of an ego trip just to say you did it?
So you could take the fall.
Right.
Take your own fall.
Just so you could take your own fall, so you could take your own punch. And don't get me wrong, story-wise, as a director, there are some moments I really want to see the actor, taking the hit, or I want them to get in the headspace of what this, entanglement might be. But if it's that risky and we can cheat it and actually use a stunt person, why not?
Yeah, because if you do mess up, that's going to cost production so much. Now they're going to be pissed at you. It's literally, it could potentially a lose-lose situation for everyone.
Right, exactly. And then I started moving on to the question of, what does saying you do your own stunts actually do? And he couldn't come up with a good reason. I said, will it increase your booking ratio? They're not going to care. They don't care if you do your own stunts. Maybe a little bit of action. And they usually request that in the breakdown. They'll say, needs to do a little bit of action. But it doesn't help with your fans. Your fans don't care. They love you because of the performance you gave, because of your acting.
They don't care who took the fall.
They don't care about who took the fall. They'll think it's awesome, like whatever the action is, but it doesn't translate to them what the name is behind the person that's actually falling. And so what you actually become is a liability. Because if you keep telling productions, I do my own stunts, all of a sudden the bean counters say, oh, insurance. This person is an insurance liability, because if they're number 1 or 2 on the call sheet and they get wrecked during a stunt, that's a ton of money that insurance is going to have to pay out. Premiums go up. There's a whole mess of problems with it. So in a sense, not only do you potentially hurt yourself physically by trying to do your own stunts, career-wise and practically wise, like you ruin a lot of your prospects by telling people that you do your own stunts. So
Or willingness to do.
Right.
So like what happens when you're on set? Let's say you're a day player, a co-star on Stranger Things.
Sure.
And they're like, hey, could you take a fall here? Should the actor say, yeah, sure, and be willing to learn?
Something that I would always express to actors is think about what your comfort level is. 2, if they're asking you to do something when a stunt coordinator is not there, refuse it 100%.
Okay.
Because a stunt coordinator should know the parameters and have a realm of safety in terms of what's plausible and possible versus what's not plausible and possible. Unfortunately, directors and assistant directors and the like don't understand action as much as they think they might. And so if they say something, we just need a little, like that's the key phrase, right? If we just do this, back off right away and be like, no, I don't feel comfortable doing this. And if they keep pressuring, that's how you know it's even more of an issue.
It's worse. Have you ever seen anyone lose a job, an actor like lose a job because they suddenly like kind of pressured them into doing a stunt and the actor wasn't comfortable?
I haven't seen anyone lose a job over it.
Boom. There you go.
Never.
So you won't lose the job by saying you're not comfortable physically doing a stunt that you weren't asked to do prior to getting to set.
Absolutely not. And the reality is you're already booked and on set. What are they going to do? Fire you and find a replacement in 10 minutes? Every minute is thousands of dollars on a production. They're not going to waste time. Like they'll waste 15 minutes arguing with you, trying to convince you to do this stunt so they don't have to add a day in to get the stunt team in to get that shot. But they're not going to fire you and then reshoot all of your stuff.
There's no
way.
That
doesn't make any sense. There's no way. So if you feel uncomfortable doing something, and actually there was an example on a show that I worked on a few months back where my friend was the stunt coordinator and the director asked the stunt coordinator, hey, I want this girl to just do this fall, a nice, simple fall. And the stunt coordinator said, no, absolutely not. And the director said, no, why not? Look, man, it's just a little, like, just from where she's standing, I just want her to fall. And my friend said, okay, watch this. And he stepped up on like, I don't know, it was like a step stool, like one of those short little ladder things. And he just fell backwards. And since he's a stuntman, a very capable stuntman, he knew how to fall. And he went, bam! And he got back up and brushed himself off. And he looked at the director and he said, how do you think that felt? The director said, that looked like it hurt like a motherfucker. Am I allowed to curse? I forgot.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And the director was like, that looked like it hurt. And the stunt coordinator was like, yeah, it didn't feel great. It wasn't bad for me because I know what I'm doing. But you want an actress that doesn't know what she's doing to fall like that? And the director said, all right, fair. We'll get the stunt double.
Great point, man. Wow. What a great lesson.
Yeah. So save people, man. That's save yourself, save the production, help people out. Like let people that are good at their jobs do their jobs. Like we specialize in what we specialize in for a reason.
Amen.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, last question.
Yeah.
Because you're an actor and you do stunts and you drive, do you have a dream role?
That's a great question. I've asked myself that plenty of times before. Like, what's the role I really want to sink into? If there's a Baby Driver 2,
I think it's in the works.
I've heard stories of it. I've heard rumors about it. But if there was a way that I could insert as if there was a way to collect all of my skills into like acting and stunt driving and stunts in a Baby Driver 2, that would be an absolute dream role for me.
Hell yeah, we got to make that happen.
I'm all about it.
We're tagging everybody that can help make that happen. Let's make that happen for Ron.
Edgar Wright, I'm looking at you, buddy. You owe me one.
Well, thanks for being here, man. You know, as a quick thank you gift for being here, you do get a car.
Thank you. Oh,
So let me grab.
this man speaks
Let me
my
grab my magic
language.
bag here. Go ahead and stick your hand in and reach out and grab something.
Let's see.
Sarah Carpenter gave me this bag, by the way.
Love
It's a
Sarah.
Star Wars bag. What'd you get?
Oh, of course, a Porsche 911. The 964. This is perfect.
mean,
this is,
does it get
look
better?
At this. Look at this. This is glorious.
Black. It's sexy. It's
Blacked
a sexy
out.
car.
Yeah. Thank you so
I love
much,
it, man.
Jason.
Dude, well, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. I know that, you know, time is valuable, but I think the time that you spent here will be valuable for a lot of people.
I sure hope so.
I do too. I hope it saves somebody
Yeah,
some
that'd be
injury
great.
and
Yeah.
the production. So thank you too for tuning in. I hope that you got something out of this today. And if you'd like to be a guest on our show and feel like you've got a good booking story with a lesson, pitch it right to us. The email is talentagenttalk@gmail.com. Again, that's talentagenttalk@gmail.com. I want to thank you all for watching. Thank Jesse Malinowski and Get Seen Studios for producing Talent Agent Talk. And thanks again, Ronnie, for being here.
Absolutely, man.
Awesome.